All right. Hey, everybody. Jeff Lobb here from SparkTank Media. I'm sitting in the studio today, excited to be talking to Jeff Croix, co-founder of Naberly Solutions. Welcome, Jeff.
Hi, thanks.
Hey, so today, it's under a new kind of version of content that I'm starting to share called 20 and Done, meaning this is 20 minutes of content, no fluff, all straight to the point with a content-rich 20 minutes or less. So hang with us. We're going to move a little fast. We want to get you really brought up to speed on some of the latest buzzing topics. And this topic today with Jeff is going to be talking about a new feature they've just added actually in the Naberly product, but really relevant to what you should be paying attention to is Facebook lead ads, right?
Exactly.
So, Jeff, if you want to share your screen so we can kind of highlight the screen, let's start. Jeff's an expert at this stuff as far as driving this content. He'll share his screen with you, with us in conjunction with what we're talking about, and we'll buzz through a little bit. So let's get right through. Jeff, if you want to kick off our first slide, go for it.
Yeah, you bet. So Facebook lead ads. You probably have heard some of your colleagues talk about them and maybe seen a few online and maybe filled out some. But really, I mean, they're very popular right now. They're a very efficient lead generation tool. We're just seeing great results from Facebook lead ads. So, what they are, they're like a regular ad. Mm-hmm. I mean, you set up your content. What is your lead magnet? What type of service or information you're trying to provide the consumer. But instead of, linking over to maybe your website, it's actually when you click the call to action, it's going to open up a form inside of Facebook.
Right. Now, hold that thought, Jeff. 1 second.
Okay.
So something I think is really important for this group, whoever's watching this group, meaning real estate, mortgage, title, this is a little bit for everybody here. But let's look at, first thing, all Facebook ads, as you know, Jeff, aren't created equal. It's not just about here's a listing. But look at some of the offerings. What's my call to action for? We have homes before they hit Zillow as one of your keywords here. Maybe It's something that of listings that are coming in before they hit the market. So we're driving consumer interest. It's not just place an ad and assume people are going to click, right? So
right. I mean, you gotta provide something. You gotta give them a little fear of missing out. You gotta entice them, right? You got what they call it, like it's scroll worthy. How are you going to stop them from scrolling?
Right. So I want to add 2 or 3 things that I just shared at a recent conference. Won't be specific, but the conference was a large conference. 3 things for it's time, value, and FOMO. Time to stop their thumb scroll, right? How quick can you stop them? When you get them, how quick can you capture my attention? Are you giving me value? Homes maybe before they hit the market's value, and fear of missing out. I don't want my competition or my other homeowners to find it before I do. So
exactly.
3 good components there. So awesome. So if I'm on this and I see learn more, where's it taking me?
So that's the really interesting part of the lead ads itself is when you click on that learn more, you're not opening up another website. You're never leaving Facebook. So it actually pops up a form inside of Facebook. And what's really, lowers the friction level of getting a contact's information for what you're trying to provide them.
Right.
It pulls the information from the consumer's Facebook profile and pre-populates the form. So when they click on it, their email, their name, their phone number are already populated in the form. And really all they have to do is hit submit.
So by saying lower friction is you're going to get fewer Mickey Mouses and Donald Ducks. You're pulling real data from their Facebook profile. But I think the magic here, and I think you said this is like why Amazon became so popular with Prime and one-click purchase.
Yep.
Is all I have to do is hit submit. I'm not keying in information. I don't have to fudge it. It's just kind of there. So
it's just there. And, they would really have to be, they would have to back out their information to put in something. And we're seeing, 95 to 99% accurate rate.
Right. Because they're just clicking the button, submit, and go.
It's just so simple that they just open it, say, okay, submit.
Right.
And so our clients are, they're just getting, that was always the what people wanted to get was full leads. Like, how many full leads did you get? Did you get the good contact information? And that was always kind of like how you evaluated your lead generation. whether it's from your website or from, some sort of home valuation page or something, how many full leads did you get? How many good contact information?
So what's full? Full is email, name, first name, last name, and phone number. Is that what you're calling
Yeah,
full?
that's golden, right? That's, you're getting their full name, you're getting their email, and you're getting their phone number. I mean, and, with lead ads, you can even ask some more qualifying questions. They have a form building,
Okay.
pretty simple forms, right? Not a lot of, intelligence or, like workflows or anything, just simple information. You could put something like, hey, do you have to sell your existing home? Yes or no? You don't want to make it long and have them, you want it to be really just like, okay, answer maybe one or two questions, hit submit.
Yeah, and if it needs intelligence, I like that word you used. If it needs intelligence, like a home valuation or something about getting some kind of free ebook or something else, or it needs something to calculate somewhere else.
Right.
That's when you might drive them to one of your lead pages or landing pages, if you will.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think of like what type of ad are you running? If you're trying to just get contact information and follow up with them, then a lead ad is a really good way to go.
Perfect.
If you want them to link over to like a home valuation where they need to do something more sophisticated or fill out a mortgage application or something of that sort,
right?
You would probably do a different kind of ad where you're doing a traffic, where you're trying to generate traffic to your website.
Traffic and tie them to a page with that more depth, like a landing page versus a lead capture form. Okay, exactly. Cool. All right, so we capture the information, hit submit. Where we go?
Yeah, so I mean, that's, when you're trying to get those full information, you're like, okay, how well? We mentioned that it's working, it's a very efficient tool. And so I just wanted to give an example of, this ad, right? So just how well did it perform?
Yeah.
Here's stats. This ad just got done, I think, 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So that exact ad there got 26 full leads.
Full.
Mm-hmm. And they spent $100, so that was $3.84 a lead.
Okay.
And from that, and I can show that in a little bit, but they got engagements from the people because they had some follow-up systems in place. They got, roughly over half of people engaging, say thank you, actually talk to them. And actually right now they have 2 active clients from just this campaign.
So 2 from this campaign, and that's only within the first, week or 2. That's not saying that if we're actually good and have campaign systems in place and follow-up and nurturing and all this good stuff, we might get out of the other 24 left another 1 or 2 easily.
Yeah.
For our job.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's the question that always comes up, when someone talks about, Facebook lead generation, how good is it? How does it compare to other lead sources? And we're seeing, for a typical ad like this across the board, I mean, this is pretty typical. This is not, out of the norm of what you can expect if you got the systems in place. You can't just run an ad and download the list of people who filled out the form a week later and expect, to get good results.
And that's, this is a hot button for me, and I won't get into my rant here, Jeff, but understand that when people fail a lot of this, and you probably have a lot of them that get that frustration of, I only got 1, or, I didn't get any deals from it. A lot of times it's not, in any situation, the leads aren't bad. They're not all great, but they're not bad. We have to sometimes look in the mirror and understand there might be something else that's not good, which is maybe us, our questioning, our follow-up, what we ask the customer. Do we really give them what they want? And maybe we're just not as good as we should be in converting leads. And I know I have to say it. A lot of people don't want to hear it. But if I got 26 full leads and I don't convert some of that into real money, then I have to ask myself, am I doing a good job? Right. And a lot of us don't want to look in the mirror. So I want to make that point in general, because that's the next real big issue, is how do we follow up properly and how do we do that? And I know you've got some awesome solutions for it, but a lot of it's on us.
Right. Exactly. And, it's common sense, but, before you start spending and throwing a lot of money at any lead source, you want your systems in place to, make sure you can capitalize on that.
Cool. Yep. That makes sense.
Yeah. So really, just kind of dovetail on what you're saying there, Jeff. I mean, helpful tips is, you want to incorporate some sort of lead routing into your CRM, or at least notify you of these leads, because Facebook, they'll capture the leads, they'll get the information, but back on that previous slide, you look here, it says leads form in the red box there.
Right. Yep.
If you don't have any systems in place, you got to actually download that, and it will download it to a spreadsheet, and then you got to sift through it and, manually add it somewhere or just follow up from that. So it's, Facebook does a good job of getting you the leads, but not very good of letting you know.
Sure.
They don't even really let you know right away.
It's not really their gig. It's not their specialty at this point. So they get you the lead.
Right. And so you're going to want to, do some sort of incorporation, whether it's, I know a lot of people use Zapier to, do things and to trigger and get, different information into their CRM. So you want to do something like that, or systems that have a fully integrated, Salesforce and some other systems have it built in. We built something. And then
very few agents, Jeff, though, very few agents are going to figure out Zapier and IFTT, and very few. The savvy ones will, but let's face it, the majority will not. So if it doesn't end up in my CRM for auto response, I'm probably going to not succeed on a lot of those deals, on a lot of those conversions. So you guys put something in.
So you're going to want to incorporate that, and then you're going to want to have some sort of alert system, right? That you got a new lead and you want some sort of autoresponder, because that ad, right? You need to deliver on what you promised.
Right.
So if you promised a list of homes, you better send them something right away,
Yep.
or they're just going to move on, right? They're hot for the information, so you're going to want to send them that information right away.
Quickly. Yep.
And then, just like anything, the fortune's in the follow-up.
Right.
And you're going to need to follow up, and you're going to need a long-term follow-up. People on Facebook, that's they may not necessarily want to buy or sell or do some, transaction with you that day, but they are interested, to some degree. They're interested enough to engage with your ad. So it could be 3 months, 6 months, 12 months down the road. So you're going to want to put in some sort of long-term nurturing,
which is
sort of drip campaign or something.
Okay.
Whether you're sending them, helpful guides, and, for our clients, especially if it's a buyer ad, we'll set them up on a listing alert, right? So that ad was for the latest homes in a community. Well, then it's really easy if you have a good IDX and listing alert system that you just drip them every day or every week, to keep them updated. And they could be getting those for months, and then finally come back and say, hey, I want to go see that house.
Yeah. And just so you know, in order to keep to our 20 and done, we got about 5 minutes. I want to kind of get to the last few pieces we got about responding and the importance of responding. Did you advance to the next slide? I haven't seen the next slide on that one.
Yeah. So, just touching on, you're going to want to get these systems in place. And, we've done the whole Zapier, and even from us, from a technology standpoint, we built a Zapier connection, and we were, routing leads into that way. And frankly, it was a pain, even from us doing it for our clients.
Sure.
So what we did is we built a direct integration with the Facebook. They call it the marketing API.
Okay.
So essentially, in our system, you can map that form directly into the Naberly dashboard. And so leads that fill out that form get populated into our dashboard within 10 seconds.
Okay. So lead form comes in, gets captured, and I don't have to worry about downloading and exporting and re-importing and anything else. Just comes into the dashboard of your platform anyway. So that's automatically built in my CRM.
Right. And so, so some of the fields here is, you map the different fields, and then you can associate the drip campaign right in this one step.
Which one I want to send to them, right? Is it a seller?
Yeah. Okay. So like down here at the bottom, you see the drip campaign, the seller drip, from that ad. And then, speed to lead, right? So with Zapier, it might be a 5 or 10 minute delay.
Right.
With here, it's 10 seconds, 15 seconds maybe. And then those drip campaign and autoresponder is going to be kicked off. You're going to get alerted. You can, the system can send you a text message alert as soon as it's
Yeah. And if I don't have Zapier or anything, it's just going to my email. I may not got back to it for 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or even several hours before I get to it because it just came in some kind of email and saying, hey, you got a lead.
Exactly. So here's just an example follow-up. Lead comes in, for that ad, they wanted a list of homes in a certain community. It sends them an email immediately. Okay. So this is just an example drip campaign from our system. So it sends them a list, and then 5 minutes later, it sends them a text message.
Cool.
Saying, just check in, make sure you received the information you requested. Feel free to contact us. And we're just seeing a really good response. And I'll show you an example here from the text message, because it's really easy for that person to say, hey, thank you, I did receive it, and then open up a conversation. So if you have the right systems in place, turn up that ad spend. You can see in this example, over the last 30 days, they've gotten 335 leads.
Wow.
Of course, that's a higher spend.
Sure.
So, but you can see over on the right side in the orange, those are actually people that responded back with text messages. And in our system, you can handle all those replies right in one dashboard.
Oh, so I don't have to leave the system to reply to texts and all that stuff. I'm not juggling phones and.
No, and you can have an admin, manage, 50 conversations easily right here in the dashboard.
All right, so let me just make sure I visualize this for the last 2 minutes here. So a Facebook ad comes in on the lead form, gets captured, and even if I'm on that listing appointment, I can't break free for an hour, it's coming into my CRM automatically, no exporting or importing.
Right.
And automatically, we're creating that option to say, hey, send out that email instantly, send the text automatically, and I haven't done anything at this point.
Right.
And if I'm the typical agent, I also understand too, is like the follow-up lead stuff. Do you guys have a service or level of service where if I wanted you to write those text messages for me and those emails for me, and just do it, you guys do it for me, at least to set it up? Can you do that for me too? Is that something?
Yeah. So we have two flavors. We have the do-it-yourselfers that you can get the dashboard and you can do all this yourself. Right. And we have the do it for you, where we would set, all the graphics, all the content, that ad we did for our client, setting up the graphics content, and then all the follow-ups, we set that all up for you. So it's just basically just sit back and the leads start hitting your dashboard, and the follow-up happens.
Because I just know agents are, this is Facebook and ads and lead gen and lead conversion. It's becoming a science. It's not just place an ad anymore. So I'm learning from a lot of the conferences, a lot of the producers that are doing business realize saying, hey, I need to focus on my real estate business or my mortgage business or my title, whatever they're doing, because this isn't just for real estate. But I also want someone to help me just kind of be that expert for me. So that's good. You guys can have that. So for the last minute or two, if you don't mind, I want to wrap up. And I don't know if you have what's the next slide? I want to make sure I don't miss something.
Just the closing.
Follow up. So, for those who don't know, Naberly Solutions, besides, for real estate, particularly IDX websites, unique search, landing pages, Facebook ads, text messaging, almost like having 5 to 6 or 7 different services in one dashboard. So you might want to get a full demo there, Naberly Solutions. They'll give you all the bells and whistles so you can see that platform. Totally on board with it. We only talked about a smidgen of the hot stuff right now, lead ads. If you want someone to manage your Facebook ads, just solely, whatever business you're in at this point, real estate, mortgage, title, outside space, they have a platform to just do that at some really attractive prices. Manage it, drive leads to it, help you with the nurturing, do all that. And I imagine you take that on as a separate client base, right, Jeff?
Yep.
Awesome. So listen, there's a lot of solutions, but at least Facebook lead ads, you get the gist of it. Hopefully you got some quick content. My promise to you today was 20 and done. We're a little just under 20. I want to make sure you got that. If you have any questions, reach out to us, reach out to Jeff directly. I'm sure he will be more than happy to spend more time with you. At least we got you the nuggets, which you need to pay attention for. So thanks for spending a few minutes with us. Thanks, Jeff, for being here, spending your expertise with us. And any more information, we'll catch you on the flip side.
All right.
You guys.
Thanks, Jeff. Bye-bye.